Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed, Shlita. We find ourselves at the end of the week getting ready for Shabbos Kodesh. Thanks everyone for joining us for this learning ride. We continue to daven for Charlei Tzva Agana Yisrael, for Refuah Shalema L'Chol Am Yisrael that needs safe return of our hostages, and again we dedicate our learning Le'ili Nishmas, Sarah and Daniel Shimon ben Arav Doron V'Sheli Hashem Yikum Damo. So continuing where we left off yesterday about the seating arrangements and the food that's served at the table. So the Rambam, based on what we said yesterday about the food, more than that, maybe we leave open a seat at the table as well. So that it's recognizable that in that space we could have put food and we leave it empty, Zecher LeChurban. V'chein pasuk Shulchan Aruch, she'yanich makam panei b'shulchan lo ka'ar min ha'ka'aros ha'riyos l'seis sham. Shulchan Aruch paskins also that we should leave an open space at the table without a place setting that would normally be there. Ulam l'maisa gam lo nogan l'shar makam panei b'shulchan. However, nowadays this is not the custom. We don't do that. B'pnei shulchan shalom einam begodol shaveh. He says, nowadays our tables are so large that if you would leave an open spot, it wouldn't be recognizable. Oh, we left this open because it's Zecher LeChurban. Venira, shekam tzuras hagasha hishtanta, shekam ba'avar hamagishin eskola tavshila miyah betchilas hasuda, vaz haynikar shechsir mashu. Also, perhaps in different eras, they would have all the food placed on the table and all the courses were served at once, and therefore you would know if something was missing. And nowadays, when we serve course by course, so there's always going to be something open on the table. So if there's something that's not placed in front of someone, not all the courses at once, then you wouldn't recognize that it's Zecher LeChurban. He says this seems to be the reasons why we're not makpid, why we're not insistent on this custom. Amnam, kivan shacharonim iskir din zeh lahalacha, but he says nevertheless, the acharonim mentioned this lahalacha, mashma sharoi l'kaimo, so it would seem that it's appropriate to fulfill it. So therefore, people who arrange meals, who are setting the table, they should know this halacha. So therefore, before any specific meal, again, not a regular run-of-the-mill meal, but let's say a special meal, you're going to have guests. So they should have the intent that this is the meal that we'd like to prepare, but let's leave off one dish. V'chein kasher skamit mabal ulam o catering al tafrit l'simcha. So if you're planning a simcha, let's say, and you're working with the caterer or the hall, so then you should make an arrangement and saying, okay, this is what we want, let's leave off one thing, Zecher LeChurban. To add to this, by the way, the notion of leaving off a setting at the table, so this has sort of come back, not for the same reason, but we talk every day about safe return of our hostages. I know many people will leave an empty seat at their table for the hostages. I remember leaving a seat for Gilad Shalit when he was in captivity for 5 years. We used to do it for Russian Jewry, so it has its roots, this notion of leaving an empty spot at the table. We'll see one last line here in this chapter. The Gemara Bava Basra says that a woman should adorn herself with all of her jewelry, but she should leave something over. It's also difficult to fulfill this nowadays. We don't have a set way. Let's say a woman going to a wedding, you have to wear this amount of jewelry. And it wouldn't be recognizable nowadays that she's leaving something off. Nevertheless, we should still try to fulfill this halacha. And if a woman has many types of jewelry, she shouldn't wear them all at once. That maybe she should, each time when she's getting ready for getting dressed up and putting on all her jewelry, she should think, oh, I would love to wear everything, but let me leave one piece off. Kadesh Tizkor as Churban Beis HaMikdash, so that she'll remember the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. Meaning, maybe no one else would recognize, but when you're putting on your jewelry, you say, oh, I would love to wear everything. But we say, no, Zecher LeChurban, I will leave something off. So, again, a number of different halachas, some practical, some are followed, some are not necessarily followed. We covered all of that. But an interesting week of study nonetheless about Zecher LeChurban. Thanks everyone for listening. I wish everybody a peaceful and restful Shabbos. And please continue davening l'chalei tzvagan Yisrael, for Shlomo Chalam Yisrael, a safe return of our hostages, and dedicating our learning to Ili Sharon, Daniel Shimon Ben Abdurna Vasheli, Hashem Yakum Demo. Again, Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you here next time.